Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we're going to be talking about MCC 35 as it has just been announced, taking place on Saturday the 9th of December. I'm sure some of you may have guessed this already, considering that Block Wars is on the 2nd, and obviously MCC and Block Wars tried to avoid being on the same day. So that one was a pretty easy guess if you were to be interested in guessing it. Regardless, this video we're going to be covering everything that is known about this event. As far as we're aware, it's just going to be a standard December event, which usually has some pretty interesting teams. As usually, I feel like what happens is it's kind of like a nice way to end off the season by putting some extra some extra cool people in the event every now and then, etc. Anyways, for this event, we know people that potentially have higher odds than other people. We know a couple people that signed up, and there's a lot of team predictions that I will look at because the Reddit has been pretty active in terms of trying to figure out the next teams for MCC, as people have been waiting for a regular canon event for a while. Starting off with this, I went and made this tier list for people that I think could be likely to be in. This is not confirmed, okay? This is just analysis. So we'll start from the bottom. As far as we're aware, Fruitberries is confirmed out, or at least he's confirmed not available. Not that he's benched, he just, I don't think, is around, as far as I've seen at least, and multiple people have been saying this. So I'm assuming that is correct. So if you are a Fruitberries viewer, expect him to not be in the on the teams, but maybe he will be. Then both tier is people who played in both MCC TwitchCon or Twitch Rivals and in MCC Party, which are the two most recent events. I'm going to assume that people who played in both of those events will have a less likely chance of being in the final event for this year and potentially season 3, depending on how MCC approaches the future of the event. We don't know at this point because season 2 was multiple years. So yeah, there's a bunch of people in the both category. I'll state this now. I would be incredibly surprised if all of these people were not in, so I would expect some of them to be in. I think some of the people that we are obviously know now that will probably not be in are Rambo and Phil, who's in the tier above. But for the rest, I can't really speak. I know on like who's in. I know Purple thinks that he's benched, but we also know that he said that every single time, and then miraculously still appears on the teams. So we'll see. I think, I think there might be a couple benches here and there, but maybe not. It depends on who signs up, I guess. Then you have the played party category. I put this one lower than Rivals because it was the most recent event. We know that, at least we assume, that the Simmers as a full team will probably return for this event, depending on if James Turner wants to play or not. And if not, I'm sure they're just going to get an S tier. Not sure who they would get, because I would say Fruit would be a fun person to put there, but Fruit won't be in this event. Then Shane has already teamed with him twice, might be a little bit repetitive, so maybe Purpled could be there, or maybe someone like Pizza Hut, I think could be fun to have on that team, but we'll see. Then the Rivals category, people who played in the MCC Twitch Rivals category or event but didn't play in MCC Party. I think a lot of these people are likely to be in, depending on if they are interested in just playing the regular MCC events. I think some people, maybe like Foolish or like Sylvie or George, might not play in this one just because they don't typically play in the regular events anymore, but we'll see. And then the people who didn't play in any, some of the people, this top green tier is, I'll explain that. This light green tier is just all the people that have not played in the most recent 2 events. Now, you'll notice from this that these are a lot of the either infrequent or inactive players. So I'm sure that there will be a very small amount of people from this tier, if any, that will be in this event. I'm expecting that number to be quite low. Maybe we'll see a surprise Ludwig appearance. I'm assuming no, but maybe. You'll never know. And then the top tier is, I just picked a bunch of people from all the tiers that I thought would be the most likely to be in, just in general. No confirmation on whether people are going to be in, aside from like Scott, Shelby, and Jordan, obviously. But I'm assuming for the rest, it'll probably be pretty random. I think Sapnap will have a decently high chance. He supposedly has said that he was interested in playing this event. Same with Scar, also apparently said that he wants to play this event. I think like Ollie would be good because he hasn't played in the most recent 2 events. Same with Captain Gato. I think he's likely. SB737, we haven't seen in a little bit. I think Gizzy Gaza might play. Hot take potentially, but I think it could be pretty fun to see Gizzy make their appearance again. And I think Wally will probably be in. Wally wasn't in either of the 2 recent events. And yeah, Puffy maybe in, because Puffy did say sometime when she stopped playing that she would return for Christmas. And that happens to be right now. Anyways, moving on. Here is the message. Simmer's almost guaranteed. Joel apparently has signed up, and apart from that, we don't really know much. Fruitberries being not in the event is supposedly confirmed. So yeah. Now, it's time for the team predictions. There are 6 Reddit posts regarding team predictions. So we're going to go through them relatively quickly to make sure that this video doesn't last too long. I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes, okay? So let's go, okay? Red team. Solid. You got Misfits duo, I think, of Sneak and Amy. Jojo Kara, phenomenal duo, classic duo. I think the combination works really well. Jojo Amy's funny. Sneak Kara works really well from SMP Live era. Good team. Next up, Orange team. Pretty solid team. I think a Pete and Owen duo is actually quite interesting. I think that'll be pretty good. Owen and Becky obviously makes a lot of sense. I think Pete Impulse, I don't know if they've teamed before, but that would be a good duo. So I'd vouch. Yellow team, very interesting combo. I know people really want to see Sapnap and Cub on the same team. I think Ollie and Shelby is a fun, a fun fitting duo to put there. I think them as a duo is just great. I think this would be very interesting. I think this would put Sapnap in a different position, a different environment for a team. Usually is with his like close friends, whereas this would be a little bit more of an experimental team. So this could be fun. Moving on. Lime team, H-Bomb, Harvey, Sam, and Ant Venom. This is a pretty solid team. It's a team where their top player is obviously a little weaker compared to the other top players, but their lower end on the team is fantastic. I guess this team could maybe be comparable to the Twitch Rivals team from the yellow team, the yellow Twitch Rivals team. Maybe a little weaker because that team did have Ant Frost, which is a pretty, good player to have. Anyways, I think this is a pretty fun, pretty interesting team. Moving on. Green team. This is the Twitch Rivals team, green team, but instead of Pete, it's puns. It works really well, so I would vouch. Moving on, Cyan team, Callum, Martin, Scott, and Jordan. This is giving off some MCC 20 green vibes. Obviously, Scott and Jordan were on the same team there. A team where everyone is just an all-rounder player, and there's not like a super, cracked top player, but there's also no weak player at all in this team. Phenomenal. Would be pretty interesting. Moving on, Aqua team, Dave, Joel, Toby, and Scar. Very interesting combo. This could work. It feels a little bit odd. Also, it feels very strong. 3 people who could get top 15, top 10, plus Scar, who is not bad at all. So this could be pretty strong. Moving on, blue team, Simmers. Moving on, purple team, Shane. Okay, wait. Shane, Ryan, Michael, and Eric would be a very cool team. This would be very fun. Shane and Ryan have become pretty good friends as of recent, as far as I'm aware. Ryan and Michael, classic duo. Ryan and Eric, classic duo. This also gives off pretty big Blockers vibes, as Shane's most recent team was him, Ryan, Eric, Wally, and Ashley Roboto. So this would be good. And then final team, Purple Tommy, Jack Manifold, Ludwig. Makes sense. All right, cool. Solid teams. 4 to 5 upvotes. Sure. Moving on. Fancy looking thing here. I think I have to go faster. That one prediction took me 3 minutes. I'll just say a good team or bad team, I guess. Yeah, interesting team. Very strong. A little bit of copium perhaps, but it would be very cool. Jack Manifold on the mostly all women team. I mean, I think it would work. It would be pretty cool. This would be super cool, but Fruit is obviously not in. This would be pretty interesting. Anton Jordan running it back with Kara and Sniff. Solid. Yeah, makes sense. A little bit repetitive, maybe, but I mean, it would be good vibes regardless. Yeah, this makes sense. Pretty cool team. Simmers. Then, very interesting team. This could be pretty solid. I think this is a nice version of an experimental team. So yeah, I'd vouch. And then this is an interesting one. This one feels a little weird and weak. I don't think I would vouch for this team to happen. Maybe if Preston was replaced with like Harvey, it would work a little better. Or you just throw Shane on this instead of Callum. Honestly, just throw Shane on this team instead of Callum. That would be absolutely fire. Moving on. This is a very cool team. This would be super sick. I would love this team. This makes a lot of sense. Yeah, very cool team. This would be also a very cool team. Someone is cooking real hard here. I like this a lot so far. This would be interesting. Puns and Joel running it back. I think Jimmy and Scar on here makes a lot of sense. This would be interesting. Sapnap Wally duo. That would be. I'm curious to see how that would work out. I think with Puffy and Kara makes sense. Cyan team. This feels repetitive, but then also not. This would be quite peculiar of a team. Very silly, goofy. I like that. Yeah, this makes sense. Yep. I mean, that's it. It makes sense. Simmers. Then purple team being a Jojo Martin with Hermit's team. Interesting. And then pink makes sense. Yeah, sure. Moving on. Red team. Look, I didn't manage to do it under 10 minutes, but we're going quickly anyways. And Tommy and Viam and Gucky. Little bit of an odd combination, but it works. I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean, if this got announced, I would be like, okay, interesting. It's like a combination of a silly goofy and like a little sweaty team. Interesting. Oh, what a combination. Shadoon, Owen, Jimmy, and Amy. This would be quite unique. I like this. Yeah, fire team. I'd love this. I think I just like a 5-up Shelby duo a lot. I think I might be biased. I think it's just a good duo. I think Jojo and Gumi on here just works really well as well. Moving on. Yeah, I mean, Sylvie feels maybe slightly out of place on this team. I'd say Lizzie would be fantastic on this team, I'd say. But obviously I think it's unlikely for Lizzie to play, just because Lizzie seems more like a non-canon type of person. Regardless, cool. This would be very interesting. Puns, Wally, Becky, and Jack Manifold. This could work. It feels like two duos who are pretty separate, but together it works. It's definitely a little bit experimental. Obviously we know Fruit's not playing. Otherwise, this is a pretty standard team, pretty solid team. Yeah, I mean, this could work. Is a Dave Toby duo something people want to see? I mean, I'm down for it. It's just I didn't know that was a requested duo. This could work though. This seems pretty balanced. Simmers, then interesting. This is, I mean, yeah, this could work. A Shane SB duo. I know people have requested it. Would be very interesting. I think SB is a pretty big practicer. I think that could work pretty well. I do want to see Mythical Sausage play again. I think they're a pretty cool addition. And False would add to the Shane Hermit collection, so that would be phenomenal. And then finally, got purpled Scott, Eretz, and Scar. Sure, would be pretty solid. This feels more like a cyan team than a pink team, but sure. Moving on. We keep going. Yep. Solid team. This could be very silly, goofy. I don't know if is Michaela capable of being family friendly? I'm not sure. If so, then this would work. If not, then maybe it would be a little silly. Yeah, could be a pretty decent team. Feels a little. Is it weak? It's not weak necessarily. It just doesn't have like a confirmed top frag, but it also is pretty well rounded. Interesting. Purpled 5-up duo would be pretty cool. I think with Becky and Gucky it could be interesting. Yeah, this could work. I mean, it's like a very interesting combination. This feels very strong. Obviously we know Fruit's not playing, but otherwise this would be a very cool team. I want to see a Scott and Shelby duo. I don't know how long it's been, but that seems like a pretty good combo as well. Maybe like a Scott Shelby 5-up team would be pretty cool. I could maybe make a selection of teams at some point and make a video on that as well, where I'm like, my prediction for MCC 35 teams, and just throw a bunch of copium at the wall. Rambo, I don't think will be in this event. Otherwise, this could work. This feels very similar to Shane and Rambo's team, where Shelby would be replaced by Elena, and then Sapnap replaces Shane. Yeah, this could work. Yeah, this is the same, but instead of Sylvia, you get Scar, and it works a little bit better. It's just because of the personality combination, I think, just works a little bit better. I think Sylvie works more of the like a chaotic type of team, or maybe with like Hannah and Puns, etc. Yep. I'm skipping over the Simmers because the Simmers are the Simmers. We know what the Simmers do now, so they'll be chilling. This would be interesting. I think a Shane and Ryan team would be quite nice, and I think False and Impulse would be a good addition to that team as well. So yeah, and then Pink team. This would make sense for a Pink team. Hannah just coming off of a win. I'm very curious to see how she will perform. Actually, think of that now. So this could be pretty interesting. And then finally, for this video, I know it's been dragging on for a little bit, but finally, we're going to look at the final prediction, which has 69 votes. Nice. This would be a pretty, this would be a very interesting team. I think a JoJo Wally duo could be pretty cool, actually. And I think it's not like super OP. I mean, JoJo is one of the best players in the event. Actually, it might be pretty strong. I want to see a Wally plus another good player team who's like better than him without it being like super OP. I don't know if a Puns and Wally duos happen, but that could be pretty good, maybe. Moving on. Interesting icon for Fruit. I would love this team though. This team would be so silly. I would love that. But obviously we know Fruit's not playing, unfortunately. But I would so mega vouch for this team if I could. Jordan Rendog return with False and Shadoon. This team feels a little bit weak, actually pretty weak, because it doesn't have a significant top frag. I think if you replaced either Shadoon or Jordan with like someone like I don't know, like Shane, it could be pretty interesting. I don't know if Rendog will return. I want to see a Rendog return because I think it would just be a nice mix up of you know, players, but I don't know if he will. I'm sure he has a reason if he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I would love this team. A Shane, Amy, Gucky, and Joel team would be phenomenal. I mean, this could be pretty much all. This is like probably Shane's top requested team right now. If he could ask for any team, this would probably be it. So yeah, this could be pretty cool. Loser and Loser 2, pretty solid. Purpled Hermit team, I think with Gem, Cub, and Scar could be pretty fun. I like it. Dave Pete duo would be pretty strong, but I could see it, and I would agree that it should be at least worth a try, just because I don't think Pete has had a very good event as of recent, and Dave also, you know, he hasn't had a super good track record I think in terms of events. He did get a win somewhat recently, but Carl on the team as well and Puffy as well, both of them getting a win would be good. Okay. A very strong team, in my opinion. H-Bomb, Puns, Sam, and Impulse, very good. Simmers, then... okay. Jimmy, Callum, Martin, and Ollie. I mean, this would be a phenomenal combination of people. I think this would be very silly. And then finally, George, Sapnap, Carl, and Scott. Interesting combination. I mean, it could work. You never know. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Those are the confirmed... Well, we have some confirmed stuff, and when we have a lot of speculation. Let me know your thoughts on MCC 35. I will make a video on my team predictions. I'll have to be a little bit careful with that because I want to make sure that people don't think I know anything, because I don't. At least not about this event. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. See you all later. Goodbye.